Hey everybody, it's Melinda, licensed professional counselor. So today we are going to be talking about noticing that we are not centered and some skills to start practicing to help us get back to centered. So if you've turned on this video and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, what is being centered? Go back to video number 2. The previous video explains all of that. Super important to start with that one. So I hear coping skills all the time. Okay, so I ask, what are coping skills? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with a bad day? How do you deal with leaving centered? And I hear the same ones over and over. I listen to music. I talk to my friend on the phone. I go for a walk. And those can be helpful, and that is great. If they work and you're able to do them, that's awesome. But I always want to give people some more tools to kind of put in their toolbox, because if we're sitting at work, if we're sitting at school, if we're in a meeting, you can't just put in your earbuds and be like, hold on, I'm doing my coping skill. It's going to be rude. And at work, your bosses aren't going to like that. Your teachers aren't going to like that. So I want you to think about these 5 coping skills and start practicing them for times that you're not able to do the other coping skills that you have. Okay, so they're using our 5 senses. So it's also really good because you're not ever going to forget, oh, my coping skill is my squishy ball, but I forgot my squishy ball at home, so I have to go home. I can't do it today. Yeah, can't do it. Going home. Bye. No, so you're not going to ever forget your 5 senses. And you can do these and no one around you is going to know that you're even doing them. So that's why it's so great. You don't have to get up and leave or take a walk and miss the entire meeting. So here are things that I want you to start practicing along with your other coping skills. So the first one, sight. If you need to take a break from whatever is going on in your head, whatever repetitive thought you've got going on there, whether it's what your boyfriend or girlfriend snapped you, or how nervous you are about your test, or the meeting you have coming up, you need to leave that so you can get centered. Eyesight. So this is the first one. Wherever you are at, you can do this. So if I was sitting in this room, I know you guys can't see this, but like behind me is a curtain, and I could count all the lines in the curtain. I could count all the buttons and beads on top of the curtain. I could, like at school, I know there's like tile floor. I could look at all the tile and count the tile. I could find a picture on the wall. I could name every color in the picture. I could look down my shirt and count all the lines in it. So it's focusing your eyesight 100% on whatever is in your surroundings. So you can literally do this anywhere. So an example, like a true life example of somebody who went out and practiced this and came back. They said, so I was in this huge, they were a college student. I was in this huge lecture room and I was really worrying. I was really flustered. I thought I was going to have to get up, and I was in the middle row of these huge lecture halls, and I didn't want to have to get up and get out. So she kind of left her thought, left whatever the lecture was, whatever that repeating thought was that was going on in her head, and she started counting all of the heads in front of her in the row this way, and then all of the heads in the row in front of her that way. And if you do that and you still don't feel centered, you will know when you're centered. You'll feel yourself calm down. Find something else. Count the chairs. Look at the ceiling tiles. Find all the people in the room who have blue shirts. Okay, you get the point. So that's sight. Sound. So if you're in class or in a meeting or something, there might be something from the outside that you can focus your attention on and listen. Things that I tell people that you can just pretty much do anywhere that isn't going to distract anybody else. Okay, so if I have a pen and if I sit there and I put it maybe up to my ear, and I can put my thumbnail under the edge of it and just very lightly click it like this. So just sit like this and put it under your thumbnail and listen and count the number of clicks and pay attention to that. This is like the most important thing in the world right there. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you're going to focus 100% of your attention. And when that other thought tries to come back in, push it out, refocus on this. So you could make your own noise like this. Just don't like click it really loud and be obnoxious in a meeting or class. You could even put your fingers up by your ear like this, and you can hear like the skin rubbing together on back and forth. Just a second, let me turn this off. Okay, so you can make kind of your own noise. Now don't be like sitting there with your pen like click, 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 and that'll just get distracting, but you can make a very light noise that isn't gonna bother anybody. Okay, so sight, sound, touch. Okay, so if you like this one, I like to use like maybe the seams on my clothes and focus on that, or like my necklace, I could focus on the texture of my necklace. I have people who if this is the coping skill you like, wear like those rubber bracelets or the bracelets that are made out of the string so that they can play with like the strings on the end. And you're not just playing with it. You're not just like anxious fiddling with stuff. You again are making this the most important thing you are thinking about right then. That's a coping skill. If you're just messing with something, that's anxious fiddling. That's not a coping skill. Okay, so sight, sound, touch, taste. So if you like this coping skill, it takes a little more like preparation, but it's still pretty easy to do and it's not going to distract people. So I have people who like gum, so they'll carry gum with them, and you focus on the texture of the gum, how many times you're chewing the gum. Don't blow bubbles and count how many bubbles you pop. That probably will not be helpful and get you in trouble. But you can focus on the texture. If you like this one, you could do mints. So you could just keep mints with you and focus on the flavor, things like that. So sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. Okay, so this coping skill, it takes a little preparation too, but it's pretty easy to be able to do it. Like I have girls who, if they like this one, they'll keep lotion, put lotion on, focus on like the feel of it and the smell of it. Or maybe if you have like essential oil, you can put a dab on like your wrist or behind your ear, take some deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and focus on that. So these are 5 skills that are always going to be with you. You're not going to forget them at home. You're not going to have to get up and leave to do them. Now, the other thing you need to keep in mind, they're like, people come in all the time, they're like, but my coping skills don't work. I still feel crappy. And really what you need to be asking yourself, okay, number 1, you have to continuously push out whatever thought that is, whatever thought you're trying to get away from for the second. That's normal. It's going to try to keep coming back in. It's going to be annoying. Push it out and refocus on your coping skill. And the goal is to, okay, say you're here. The goal is not going to be perfectly centered. I can't even do that all the time. I practice this all the time. So the goal is to get you from here to maybe like here, or from like here to here. That's the goal. It's not going to be perfectly centered. Take him from like a 9 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10. That is progress. That's good. Keep doing it. Okay, so I want you to start practicing putting these coping skills into place when you notice you're leaving centered. Practicing that, noticing I'm not where I want to be. I need to stop. I need to not make any choices right now, if at all possible, and use your coping skills. Okay, so practice this stuff. Remember, it won't be perfect. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It doesn't mean you're not capable of it. So next time we are going to talk about kind of how our brain works, our thoughts, how we get all these annoying thoughts that like, I'm not good enough. I can't do that. How we get those thoughts and what we do to get rid of them, how we start creating new thoughts. So if you like this video, please share it with everybody you know. We need to get this information out to as many people as possible. I can only see one client an hour a day, and we need to be able to get this out to everybody so they can start practicing. And I will see you next time.